Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host Boyze, and this is Elimination Chamber 2019 review. We have a historical pay-per-view in the works. We have the road to WrestleMania. We have some absolutely twists and turns. So let's get straight on with it. Let's get on with the review. Let's hit the music. So we kicked off the show with Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa for the Cruiserweight Championship match. I was absolutely looking forward to this match, and I'm so glad it did better than I was expecting, because it was a hell of a kickoff match, and it was actually better than some of the matches we got on the main show itself, which again boggles my mind. We have a fantastic Cruiserweight match with two absolutely brilliant superstars who can steal the show at any time, and yet they're still on the kickoff show. But yes, it was an absolutely brilliant kickoff show match. Buddy Murphy and Akira Tozawa showing off different techniques of what 205 is all about. Buddy Murphy being the powerhouse and being able to pretty much take any of Akira Tozawa's direct strikes and just go, "Is that it, bro? Is that all you've got?" And Akira Tozawa's speed and absolutely aerial assaults were his bread and butter in this match. It was such a close match, and there was a few times where I was thinking, oh my god, we're going to see a title change here. Akira Tozawa is going to win. But no, Buddy Murphy, obviously his nickname, the Juggernaut, is back in every state, because he just doesn't stop until he destroys his opponent. And he did get it once he finally landed a Murphy's Law on Akira Tozawa, getting the victory. I think this was a fantastic opening match. You heard the crowd chanting, "This is awesome," and it bloody well was awesome. So what am I going to give it as a score? Well, I really enjoyed it. I think it was, like I stated, better than some of the matches which we got on the main show itself. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 stars. This then moved us on to the main show itself, and we started off with one of two Elimination Chamber matches. This was for the historical first time ever WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. We also had a change on commentating team last night for this match alone, where we had a special guest commentator, Beth Phoenix, joining Corey Graves, Michael Cole and Renee Young. A quick shout out for Beth Phoenix. She was absolutely brilliant last night on commentating for this match, and again, someone I honestly think should be on the commentating team full time. Hopefully, maybe at some point when they move to Fox on SmackDown, but Beth Phoenix joins the SmackDown commentating team, because she is very, very talented and should have this opportunity to really shine. So we started off the show, the actual Elimination Chamber match, with two teams we already knew thanks to SmackDown and Raw, which was going to be the Hug and Boss Connection taking on Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. This was a really great start to the show. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville really dominating from the start. Bayley and Sasha Banks looking really good, but don't forget, they really worked the Sasha Banks arm injury, which has been working for 2 weeks. So at certain points it did look like Bayley was working herself while Sasha Banks was in the corner trying to recoup with the injured shoulder. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose playing great heels in this part, working Bayley, working Sasha's injured arm. Then we had the Riott Squad come out. This was like an absolute added chaos. They did take out everyone until Sasha Banks and Bayley started getting more and more momentum for themselves. No one being eliminated by this point. You don't see an elimination for some time. Then after that, the Iconics do come out as well. This is where for me, it felt like the match slowed down a little bit too much. Mainly because the Iconics were messing about a bit too much, trying to pin people, because by at this point, everyone had taken everyone out, and the Iconics came in really fresh, and it just felt like they were really slow to try and get the pinfalls. Then Naomi and Carmella came out. Again, no eliminations by this point. They really pretty much worked the whole every team who was in the Elimination Chamber by this point. So that left the strongest and most scariest team, Nia Jax and Tamina, last to come out. For me, they finally came out, and it changed the whole platform for the Elimination Chamber. It added that powerhouse. I think they should have been probably third to come out, in my opinion, really work it on that. But I can see where the writers were going with this match. For me, it was very, very much interesting from start to finish. We had the Iconics get the first elimination where they eliminated Naomi and Carmella by both pinning down Naomi. Then Nia Jax and Tamina came out. The Iconics hiding in the pod was quite cool before Tamina and Nia Jax just broke in, dragged them out, Samoan drop, the Iconics got eliminated. Then we had Tamina and Nia Jax be eliminated after Nia Jax ran into the pod, smashing into the pod, leaving Tamina by herself, which left Bayley, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Sasha Banks, Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan to all just team up against Tamina, take her out. That eliminated Naomi and Nia Jax, and Tamina, which very, very smart of a writing team. Get Nia Jax to eliminate herself. Everyone teams up against Tamina, who's the weaker out of the two. Then Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were eliminated, leaving Mandy Rose and Bayley and Sasha Banks, which I will give credit where credit is due. They really worked it to make it go, ooh, they could swerve us here, where they give it to Mandy and Sonya Deville. But no, the Hug and Boss connection. There was one point when Sonya Deville, she got the backbreaker, then the Bayley to belly suplex, and Mandy Rose came in for the save. It looked so close. There was some points where it looked like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were going to win it when Mandy used her finisher on Sasha Banks, but Sasha Banks, I think again they should have had it where Bayley jumped in and stopped the pinfall, but no, Sasha Banks got her arm up in time. Finally, Sasha Banks got her bank statement with a unique way of doing the bank statement, using her foot, because her arm was absolutely devastated by this point, getting Sonya Deville to tap out, leading to Bayley and Sasha Banks being the first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. This is interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes for storylines. Does that mean Bayley and Sasha Banks now has to work on both Raw and SmackDown to defend the titles? We'll have to wait and see. They really haven't clarified that part of it, but it's really cool, really exciting, and really historic moment. And I think Bayley and Sasha Banks working that storyline of, starting from the start. They were already favourites. Everyone said it from start to finish. They were going to be the favourites, and they did a fantastic job doing this. For me, because it's historic, the Elimination Chamber match, like I said, it doesn't work with tag teams, and I still state that to this day. It was too much, too many people in it for my liking. But I'm going to give it credit where credit's due, where the writing was smart. There were quite a lot of botches in it, you could tell. But apart from that, with the historical, tag team championships, I'm going to go for 4 out of 5 star. Well done to Bayley and Sasha Banks for making history. Then we moved on to another tag team match where we saw the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. The Usos taking on the current champions, Miz and Shane O'Mac. Before the match started, we had a huge announcement from the Miz. Maryse is back and she is pregnant. So Maryse is pregnant again. Congratulations to Miz and Maryse on your second child. And yeah, this is great. I like the face Miz. I do. I know a lot of people say, it doesn't work, and I agree, it isn't always there. But when the Miz is on top of it, he really works it really well, and you get passionate Miz, and I like that, and I really want to see how far they can go with the Miz and Shane. If we get Shane versus Miz at WrestleMania, that's fine, but I want to see the Miz challenging for titles again. at some point as a babyface. I want the babyface Miz for a little bit longer, especially if we got heel Daniel Bryan for such a long time. We need the Miz to be a babyface. But yeah, then we had the Usos come out. I really enjoyed the Usos. But this match here was not their best match. I was confident as hell that Miz and Shane were going to retain these titles. Mainly because obviously Jimmy Uso getting arrested beforehand. But no, we did have a shock. The match itself wasn't too long. Shane O'Mac, my god, coast to coast. He did 2 coast to coast. One which did get Jey Uso. The second one he tried to do on Jimmy Uso. He got a super kick in the face. The Miz was brilliant. He did a skull crushing finale on Jimmy Uso. It looked like he was going to get it, but it took too long. Again, Shane went through a table. With Jey Uso on the table. So the Miz and Shane came out top gears. They were really on top for the majority of this match. But I liked when the Usos were allowed to dominate. They were showing true tag team excellence. They did get the victory to Jey and Jimmy Uso, with Jimmy Uso with the skull crushing finale able to turn it over, pin the Miz. Shane's knackered, he's out on the table, and Jey and Jimmy Uso walk away with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. One prediction I'm not too bad about being wrong about, but it was afterwards which was quite interesting. You see the Miz mouthing "I'm sorry" to Shane. Him and Shane walk off up to the stage together, and then later on in the show you do see the Miz getting so irate that he didn't just lose the match, he lost the match after dedicating the match to his wife, his daughter, his new unborn child, and his father, and he felt like he's let everyone down. He starts throwing stuff around, and Shane just goes, "Miz, go home, relax, we'll sort this out another day, just go home." So this could be the end of the Miz and Shane O'Mac partnership, but really good match from both teams. It just really was short. The coast to coast and everything were great, but again, it was a lot of, for me, not too much tag teams. It wasn't too much of a tag team match. It was more of Shane O'Mac and the Miz kind of working together sometimes, but majority of the time it was more, look what Shane's doing, oh my god. So for me, I'm going to give it a 2.5 stars. I know it sounds like a harsh score, but it was the right team taking on the titles at the end of the day. And it does get me curious about the Shane O'Mac and Miz bit, but the match itself wasn't anything particularly great about tag team wrestling. Next up, we had a handicap match where we saw Finn Bálor taking on Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. If Finn pins either Lio Rush or Bobby Lashley, he will be the new Intercontinental Champion. This was, for me, again, a really smart worked match. Nothing special, again, above average match, but absolutely worked to brilliance. Lio Rush started off the match. He really was in and out of the match majority of the time. Every time it looked like Finn was going to get an upper hand, Lio Rush would tag out, give it to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley would overpower Finn Bálor, and he would dominate until Lio Rush would be like tag himself in, or he would tag in a lot, when Bobby Lashley allowed him to. But yeah, this is where it was really smart. Lio Rush got overconfident, tagged himself in. Bobby Lashley's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm going to sort this out." Tries to do a frog splash, misses. Finn takes down Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's on the side, chucks Lio Rush through to the other side with Bobby Lashley. Jumps over, takes both men out with a suicide dive, chucks Lio Rush back into the ring. Coup de grace on Lio Rush, wins the Intercontinental Champion. Lio Rush loses the Intercontinental Championship for Bobby Lashley, which is brilliant on its own, but it's the after, it's like the smartness of finally Finn Balor's got the title, a title which I think a lot of fans were expecting him to hold for some time, and now he finally got the Intercontinental Championship. I'm happy. I think Finn Bálor is one of those guys who can really lift that title to the next stage, just like Seth Rollins did, like The Miz did. I think Finn's the perfect guy to go and have like open challenges and do a great work with it. Hell, you could even have Finn turn heel while being Intercontinental Champion if it's done right. But it was the aftermath which really got me excited. Lio rushes down, apologising to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley looks like he's forgiven him, even though he's really annoyed. Next thing you know, Bobby Lashley just lifts Lio Rush and smashes him down back to the ground and walks away. What am I going to give this as a score? The match itself was above average, but the aftermath really did kind of up the score a little bit for me. So I'm going to give it a 2.5. Again, I know it's not a great score, but I think it's a reasonable score for an average match. But Finn Bálor winning the title, I know a lot of people go, why don't you give it a 3? I just didn't feel like it deserved a 3 out of 5 star. I think it was 2.5 at best. Next up, we had the Raw Women's Championship match, where we had Charlotte Flair watching on from the side. It was Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey, and this match lasted as long as me talking about it. Literally right now, this is probably as long as the match lasted. Ronda Rousey dressed up as her MK character she's voice acting as. Ruby Riott, again, I feel so sorry for, because you're going into this match, no one really gave Ruby Riott any chance, and the writing teams apparently didn't give her any chance, or creative, because they just went, yeah, just go out there, get flung about a bit, and then just tap out. And that's legitimately the match itself. Ronda Rousey spent more time looking at Charlotte Flair than she did at Ronda Rousey. After the match, there's Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey eyeing off against each other. Becky Lynch comes out. She's hobbling on crutches. Everyone's chanting Becky. We all wanted Becky Lynch to come out, and she did. Very much a Stone Cold Steve Austin moment again from Becky Lynch. She again, I keep saying this, she is the modern day Stone Cold Steve Austin. They've done a fantastic job with her, and it really is working for her. She hobbles into the ring. Becky Lynch eyes up both Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair before attacking Charlotte Flair with the clutches and just absolutely destroying her. She even offers the clutches to one of her clutches to Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey accepts, and Becky Lynch just takes out Ronda Rousey with the other one, and still taking out Charlotte Flair. Officials do finally get into the ring, dragging Becky Lynch away, and that's pretty much it for this segment. I'm going to give the match itself a 1 star, Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey, because they just didn't do anything. And the Becky Lynch beatdown, I'm going to give a 2.5 star for, because Becky Lynch was the best part, but you can't just rely on Becky to lift this feud all the time. She's constantly lifting up the feud, but for me it just felt like we knew she was coming. She did come, and she had a bit of a Stone Cold Steve Austin moment, but I feel so sorry for Ruby Riott, because big opportunity to show everyone what she can do, and they just didn't allow her to do anything. And again, it's just a bit of annoyance, because she is an absolute star, but they're just not giving her an opportunity. And I think that's going to be detrimental to her future, because I can't see her recovering to challenge for titles anytime soon if they're going to book her like this. So yeah, 1 star for the match, 2.5 star for the beatdown. Next up, we had the match I was least looking forward to, and I'm glad I really wasn't looking forward to it, because it was crap. It was Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin in a non-disqualification match, and it literally worked out exactly as I said it was going to do in the predictions video, apart from one other person got involved as well. But yeah, so if you saw my predictions video, you saw that I predicted Drew McIntyre would get involved in the match. He did. Braun Strowman legitimately just destroyed Baron Corbin for a majority of the match before Drew McIntyre came out. Drew McIntyre came out with a steel chair. He's walking down really slow. Next thing we know, Bobby Lashley hits Braun Strowman from behind with the steel chair. Drew McIntyre gets out. They all start just wailing on Braun Strowman using their finishers on him. They get the steel chairs, steel steps from the ring back into the ring. They get some chairs, there's double stack them, and for some reason they did a Shield Cerberus power bomb through the double chair. I don't know why, because Braun's never been part of the Shield. Seth Rollins was not there, Dean Ambrose wasn't there, Roman Reigns wasn't there, so I don't understand why they're using a Shield finisher on Braun Strowman. But yes, Baron Corbin won. Again, I'm just rushing through it because I wasn't interested. I knew what was going to happen. I knew Baron Corbin was going to win leading up, because let's be honest, we know where this is leading. It's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. We can see it from a mile away, but my God, it was poorly executed. I'm going to give it a 2-star. I wanted to give it a 1, but I think because you got the weapons involved, and I think I always like people going through tables, and it's very rare you get to see Braun Strowman getting chucked through a table. So that was quite cool. Everything else was just so predictable. So yeah, 2 stars. Last but not least, we got the final Elimination Chamber match of the night. This one was for the WWE Championship, or as a lot of people are calling it, the Captain Planet belt, thanks to Daniel Bryan. This was Daniel Bryan taking on Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. I absolutely loved this main event. I thought this was the best Elimination Chamber match I've seen in a long time. It's one of the best ones on there. So if you haven't seen it, guys, definitely check it out. It is worth watching. So we started off with Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe at the start, with everyone else in the pods. This was a great start to the match. Daniel Bryan working as a snivering heel, while Samoa Joe came across as the scary, aggressive, dangerous heel against Daniel Bryan. A lot of the time I was thinking to myself, well, if I was these guys, I would eliminate Daniel Bryan. I mean, that way you definitely know there's going to be a new champion. But some of the times you're watching them and they're not even paying attention to Daniel Bryan. They're paying attention to everyone else. Samoa Joe just kept on taking all the chops by Daniel Bryan, and it just didn't. He just shrugged them off and kept on going after him. Daniel even tried kicking him. Joe, again, nothing. Samoa Joe aggressively just destroyed Daniel Bryan for quite a lot of the time. Daniel started getting more momentum. This was just before the first pod open, and that would be Kofi Kingston, the fan favourite, coming out. Everyone went mental when Kofi came out. He was brilliant throughout this match. Corey Graves said that Daniel Bryan was the Iron Man of the Elimination Chamber match, but for me it was Kofi Kingston. He took so much bumps in this match and pulled off so many great parts. It was unbelievable. There was quite a bit of a match where he didn't do much, same with Daniel Bryan, but these two really were, for me, the two best athletes in the whole match. Next up out of the pod was AJ Styles. He kind of destroyed everyone for a while, then everyone started getting back up and they started all try and take each other out. AJ did get the first elimination of the night in the Elimination Chamber match, where he used a phenomenal elbow to take out Samoa Joe. Next up then we had Jeff Hardy come out. This again allowed 4 people to be in the ring. At the time, Jeff Hardy worked really well. He was not in the match for very long. He did try and do the Swanton. He did connect, but everyone else tried to take him out before he could finish anyone off. Daniel Bryan eliminated Jeff Hardy with the running knee to the face. That left Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan in the ring, and then obviously the Viper, ultimate opportunist, Randy Orton comes out and he just absolutely starts beating the crap out of everyone. Daniel tries to use the running knee to face on Randy Orton. He turns that into a body power bomb. That was quite cool. Then there was a bit where I don't know if this was like a botch or what they were supposed to do, but it looked like AJ was supposed to go for a phenomenal elbow on Kofi Kingston, who was in the ring. Randy was just underneath him, where the ropes were. AJ got up, he held up for some time, and then Randy just gets up really slowly, grabs him by the neck, but it's not like he's going for the RKO, but he's not fully on. I mean, like, it looks like AJ just wiggles his head into the right position, and then he gets the RKO. Really, like, it's like a how to do an RKO bit by bit kind of step, because it was just like they slowed down the whole thing so you could see how an RKO gets built together. And Randy eliminates AJ. Kofi eliminates Randy Orton, leaving Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. By this point, everyone in the bloody building is behind Kofi Kingston, and it's just like Kofi, 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 and it's just like, oh my god, they have to give him the belt. They have to. There's got to be a way that Kofi Kingston takes his championship, because there's no way that this atmosphere is just for one night only. The crowd are so behind Kofi throughout the whole match. Even perhaps when AJ came out and Jeff came out, the crowds were happy to see him, and there were chants like AJ, but they were getting deafened by Kofi chants all night. Looks like Kofi's getting it. He hits Daniel Bryan with Trouble in Paradise. Daniel gets out of that. Daniel hits him with a running knee. Kofi gets out of that. There's a few times where it looks like Kofi's going to lose. Kofi gets tries to do a frog splash from the top of a pod. He misses. Daniel hits him with a running knee. He gets the victory. Daniel Bryan is still our WWE Champion, but my god, what a match. Everyone were up on their knees. They were chanting, "This is awesome," and they were chanting, "Thank you, Kofi." They were absolute, like, Kofi didn't win, but he came out the best, like, as the victor for the fans. He's just shown what he can do, and for me, as someone who's been a Kofi Kingston fan for some time, and I think he's been underrated for a long time, it's good to see him finally getting this opportunity, and I hope it's just not a one-off opportunity. I hope this is, now we can see Kofi Kingston challenging for titles on a more frequent singles run now. And I hope to God WWE look at that reaction and go, we can use that. We can use that for our WWE title match at WrestleMania, because that's got to be it now. Look at how the crowd want it. It has to be. It has to be Kofi's time now at WrestleMania to take that title. So what am I going to score this? I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. I think it's just worth it because of everyone who took part. No one looked weak. Joe looked great. AJ looked great. Randy looked great. Jeff looked great. Daniel looked great. And Kofi looked fantastic. Everyone looked just absolutely amazing. So 5 out of 5. Brilliant main event. Good way to end the show. And there you go, guys. That was Elimination Chamber Match review. I absolutely loved it. I think, yeah, there's some matches which were weaker. And the Ronda Rousey match, you didn't even need to do that. But you needed a Becky Lynch walk-in, so I guess they did need to do it in some way. There was a weird bit during the show where Lacey Evans came out. She came out, they went straight to an advert, and that was it. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm guessing she was supposed to say something or do something. I have no idea, because she came out and that was it. So I don't know what WWE were doing with that one. If I missed something, please tell me in the comments. But what was your favourite part about the Elimination Chamber match? Was it the historical women's tag team match, or was it the men's WWE title match? Leave it in the comments below. If you do like our videos, guys, please like, subscribe, and press the notification so you can keep up to date with all our videos here. If you want to follow us on the old Twitter, it's at SmackTalkYouTube. That's a U and a tube. And if you want to follow me on the old Twitter, it's at Boyze88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.